Hello, welcome back to From Soft Serve. Today I want to look at the upscaled armors that I've been working on, which right here we have the Paladin Set that I actually got on stream yesterday for the first time ever. I actually had not gotten it before for some reason. I mean, it's mostly because it's... Hell, I didn't even know the armor set existed until last year sometime. I was like, what the hell? And yeah, we ended up getting it on stream. I'll post that VOD. There's a link to the VOD channel in the description, and should be posted today or tomorrow. And yeah, so I upscaled the Paladin set, which the process is sort of going in and checking the prepare to die texture and seeing if it's better. And not better as in resolution, but better as in like the surface detail and how does the albedo texture look. Because for Dark Souls Remastered, the normal maps are mostly fine. They're all really quite good and equivalent to Prepare to Die. Sometimes better, actually. And then the specular maps I don't mess with. You can't take those from Prepare to Die. They're completely generated in a totally different way, and it just doesn't work at all. But in terms of the like albedo or diffuse texture, commonly I use the Prepare to Die texture, and so that's what you're seeing here, is that I restored the Prepare to Die texture, and then sometimes generate a new normal map to get extra surface detail, which I'm going to try to get in the sun here. I was working on this area when I logged off. I think I was messing with the darkness of Lower Undeadburg to make it a little bit darker, but still match like Prepare to Die. Double checking. But yeah, you can see on the shield as well. Increased surface detail, 2 times resolution, and commonly using the actual albedo texture from Prepare to Die. Beyond that, I'm not done. I'm not done with the armor sets yet. Just for funsies, the black leather set I had done well over a month ago. But I was really happy with how the black leather set came out, because once again I used the Prepare to Die textures. Dark Souls Remastered, they added some weathering and wear, and so I kind of undid that. I like the classic look, and I think it actually looks really fucking good. And so the new normal map, you'll see some really good surface detail on the cloth and leather portions, and a little bit of indentations on the shoulder, whatever flap that is, leather flap on the right shoulder. But yeah, it looks really nice, and I'm slowly making my way through the armor sets. I had done Havel's also a month ago, and it looks pretty good, not shiny or anything. And I used the Prepare to Die textures, and then a new normal map on top of that. So you have this nice, really clear stone look, as it's obviously meant to be from rock, right? And so it just looks really clean. Also the other thing is, I posted on Twitter, of course. Definitely follow me on Twitter if you want more current updates. But I will be posting the textures and normal maps that I'm doing for my Remastered mod as its own mod. So people don't need to download the lighting changes if they don't want to. If they just want to play Remastered, but then have better normal maps and textures for the whole world and weapons and your character and enemies, then you can just download that texture mod. So I do plan to do that. Not exactly sure when, but probably after I finish 1.0 for Dark Souls Re-Remastered, I think, which makes a good amount of sense. I also did Ornstein's armor. So Ornstein's armor is curious in that I'm just now realizing the actual images that you see here on your inventory screen, they actually now match up better with the textures in game, and that's due to I'm using the Prepare to Die textures, which I'm only going to say that 5,000 times. I'm using the Prepare to Die ones because the remastered textures for Ornstein, they took away the, you can notice how this is a little bit yellowish There's a little bit of a yellowish brass style hue to his armor, and that was taken away and remastered for whatever reason. I don't know why, but comparing them side by side, I was like, oh yeah, I'm definitely going to use the Prepare to Die ones. Remastered, they had this weird habit of like upping the contrast on certain parts of the armor, and it's like, I don't know about that. I think it didn't look good in all situations. Most of the time I think it actually didn't look good. And so, you know, here it actually got restored, you know, 2x upscale, obviously. And I think it looks pretty clean and back to what it was in Prepare to Die. Now let's see if I have any other sets here that got upgraded, because I don't think, I hadn't done any of these yet. Let's see if I have any Hollow Warrior stuff. Okay, I got the waist thingy. Hollow Soldier, I don't actually know if that was part of one of the sets. We'll see. My character. I did upscale the... oh yeah, I think, this did actually get an upgrade. Yeah, so you get a new normal map, you know, more texture detail, and a little bit cleaner. You still have that green on the actual like wooden slats or whatever that are on like the right portion. We'll go naked for a second, because I did actually upscale the skin textures as well, and so you can tell the hair has a little bit more clarity. And I picked, you know, this guy's the most cheeked up, jacked guy possible with the dumbest looking face. But yeah, so you can see the hair on the arms. It's a little bit clearer. The butt hair, as you know, that's canonical in Lordran, right? And yeah, he's cheeked up, and he's got a whole lot of cheeking going on. Oh yeah, so I did do the blood shield, which looks real good. If I can get a good look of it here. Probably not. Yeah, actually, let's log off this character. Alright, we're back. And now we're on my main character that has like 500 hours in the game. It's the one I've used for modding most of the time. And yeah, we'll take another look at the blood shield. But this is Gwyn's armor, and this is where I specifically used the Prepare to Die textures, because they were actually vastly different. They lost a lot of surface detail in Remastered, and they also lost one of the most crucial things. Well, not really crucial, but something I thought was interesting. You'll notice on the arms here, there's this rainbowish effect that's actually part of the texture. It's not anything with lighting in the game. It's actually part of the diffuse texture. And in Remastered, they got rid of this. They completely destroyed that rainbow effect, and they changed up a lot of this armor set. They turned up the contrast, and they actually turned it like way warmer color tone or color temperature. And so yeah, backed it off, went to the Prepare to Die one, two times upscale, new normal maps, and so you'll get some really nice like cloth detail. And it's a little bit clearer. It's not perfect, but I think it does justice to the Gwyn set. I was definitely like, don't like that. Don't like what they did there. Leather? I don't actually know if I upscaled the leather yet. Probably not. We will put on Solaire's armor. Although I think I already talked about that. I don't know. Let's see. So we have the Iron Helm, and yeah, so this is actually an interesting one where between Remastered and Prepare to Die, they basically in Remastered, they had taken all the rust that was on the armor, on like the helm, and they had changed it into dirt or grime. And so when I get really up close, you'll see that it is now correctly rust again. And it's not that weird like grime shit. You'll see that, and the rust is sort of on like his the other portions of his chainmail, and that has all been restored with Prepare to Die textures, except for one part of the armor. The chest piece, I actually used the remastered texture because it was actually better. in my opinion. I found it to be just a little bit brighter, but not like too much brighter. But the sun, you know, with the red portions of it were clearer, and it was just slightly improved. And so I used that, but everything else is Prepare to Die. For the legs, the arms, the helm, and the shield is Prepare to Die. And the shield got a 2x upscale, new normal map, looks real tasty, you know. And yeah, really happy with how it came out, you know. Those are sort of the changes that I don't know why they made them, to be honest, but they did. And so it's just kind of my job to undo that whenever I can. And that was definitely one of them where I'm like, nah, I'm good. I'm gonna go for the Prepare to Die, because yeah, that's sort of my methodology. Is I look at both, I examine both, zoom in, and check every detail to make sure, and then I will pick the best one out of the two. Now, about 90% of the time, I go with the Prepare to Die texture because it obviously gets the benefit of being the actual like FromSoft vision, right? Like it just will always have that. That's a benefit you can't take away from it. You know, whether you like it or not, it is the original vision, because they are the ones who did that version. And QLock did Remastered, so that's where you'll have sort of the... I am going to side with Remastered more, or Prepare to Die more often. So if I'm ever like on the fence, I'll go with the Prepare to Die. And so the Baldur Knight set, you know, upscale, new normal maps, yada yada yada, classic, on my red beef jerky guy. And yeah, the Baldur Knight set had some really good surface detail that was in that texture that was sort of like unlocked with the upscale and the new normal map. And so you'll see kind of like the slight rust effect on the back. And this was another armor set that did look different between the two versions. And it was like it was a brightness change. It was darker in Prepare to Die, but much brighter in Remastered. And so I undid, yeah, that, and now it's correctly dark. And let's see, steel armor I also did. I'm noticing I am getting towards the end of upscaling the armors. Pretty happy about that. Because once I get done with that, I can move on to some other stuff I got to do. But I kind of wanted to, you know, bang that out as it were. The steel armor was also darker in Prepare to Die, and they also had this sort of like, not really rust, but it did, well, yeah, actually, it does have a bit of a rust look to it. And it was more like, had a slight greenish hue to it, almost turquoisey hue, very, very subtle, that Remastered got rid of, and then like brightened the hell out of it. And so you'll notice, yeah, it definitely has a little bit of a darker look, new normal maps, surface detail. It's really good. I'm really happy with this one. This one, you know, you can notice the like scratches on the armor, and it just has a lot of surface imperfections that I think really shine now with the upscale. So that one was great. Let's see, what else did I have? Hollow Thief also got an upscale. It's not actually a set of armor I ever really used, to be honest. But yeah, it got a little bit of a touch up, and kind of looks cool, kind of like a dollar store ring wraith that isn't dark. But we already have ring wraith armor in this game. I don't think I've done the Silver Knight armor yet. I might. Well, actually, did I do it and then I never checked? That's possible. Let me check. I can usually tell if I get close to it. I don't know. I've done the Black Knight. I know that. Maybe I did do the Silver Knight, because it does look pretty good. And you can tell the rust is on it, which is something that Remastered would commonly get rid of. So maybe I did. It does look pretty clean. I'll have to verify that. The Giant armor I had done in an earlier update video, I believe. But it had similar issues to Ornstein's armor, where Remastered had changed the color tone of it. And so obviously I used the Prepare to Die textures, new normal maps, and it actually looks pretty fucking awesome. I'm really happy with how the giant armor turned out. And sorry about the drunk camera. Getting a good angle on the armor to get like close enough, not easy. Golem armor, I don't think I've done yet. Smos, Artorias, no. I don't. Oh, I think I did do I did do the favor set. That was an early upscale. And actually, it's when I was doing it, I noticed that the actual like favor armor, the front of it is like two arms hugging you or trying to like squeeze you. It was really cool. But you can see just how much surface detail was in this armor's like texture, and the new normal map really like unlocked it, and it really like stands out. I think it's one of the coolest looking. I think it's because I saw on the back the two hands, and I went, oh, that's what that is. I'm very clearly observant and didn't notice that. One interesting thing, I'm not sure if they intended, but like you can see for the like butt flap looking thing, the little studs or whatever get elongated near the bottom middle of it, and I don't actually know if that's like intentional, but it's definitely what happened. So maybe it was intentional. But you can see just a little bit of a shine on those little studs or whatever the hell they're called. But yeah, I think the favor set, it looks super like worn and it's been through some shit. Like for me, that's the biggest part of this, is it's unlocking a lot of the detail that was sort of not lost, but it was sort of in the texture, but it was never super emphasized by the normal map. And that's something that I definitely wanted to unlock. And that's where I think we have better normal map generation than they did in 2018. It's kind of weird. It's literally just with one program, like Crazy Bump. That program is unbelievable. And it's abandonware, which is just really strange to me, but it is. The night set, I don't think I've actually done the night set yet. I was just double checking. But let's see if I got any other armor in here I can remember that I did. We'll put on the Black Knight set, That's worth putting on, because I think it looks really fucking good. I do want to, oh man, I'm excited about the Eastern set. The Eastern set looks fucking awesome. So sick. One of the cooler, I love how they always have that theme of, in every single game, there's always the warriors from the East, right? There's always that. And that's just like a consistent thing that Miyazaki always does. Let's see, Black Knight. Ooh, Mask of the Sealer. That'd be a cool one. Maybe I've done the brass armor too. God, the D-pad on my controller is loud as fuck. It's just a normal Xbox controller, but goddamn, y'all gotta turn down your D-pad. Yeah, the Black Knight armor looks fucking awesome. Ooh, although I did notice a bit of an error there. In the chainmail portion, you can notice there's actually rainbow effects. Oh, okay. Well, I gotta look at that, because I definitely don't want there to be rainbow effects. I wonder what happened there. I've definitely noticed some of these, like, thin, paper thin, like, areas of the armor. The normal map generation can create artifacts, but normally it hasn't, like, actually shown up in game as any, like, viewable thing. But that is, yeah, actually there are a couple bugs in this armor. You can notice it at the bottom, on the knee portions, or right underneath the knee. There's like weird rainbow effects. Oh, that's weird. Okay, I'll have to look at that. And once again, I enjoy making these videos, but they're actually really useful to me as well. By making them, I can actually notice errors that I maybe wouldn't have normally noticed. Let's see. Spider shield. Yeah, I think the spider shield. No, I think I showed off the spider shield in one of the videos, but it looks fucking awesome. It's been through some terrible shit. So I pulled up my Twitter feed, and so I thought that'd be a good example of, like, because I've already documented the changes between like Prepare to Die and Remastered. So on the left here you have Remastered for the Ornstein set, and then here you have after I've upscaled it. But really I would pay attention to the coloring, as I think some people could prefer the more contrasty like grime portions, whereas the Prepare to Die one is less dirty, I would say. But the coloring, I think, is the important thing that they lost in translation. They lost the sort of, I don't know, it's a yellowish color to me, that sort of like a very light brass. And it's a real shame too, like, and notice the coloring around the like jewels that are here. Here they're much more strongly like gold and red, and then they sort of got washed out and remastered. It's really strange. I don't really know what was going on there. So yeah, that's one example. And then I showed off more of that. Here is the, here's the remastered texture for Gwyn's robe. And you can see how like it's very faded. I think that they were doing that on purpose, of like, oh yeah, this is gonna fade over time. Instead, I took the Prepare to Die one, which I think has so much more detail to it. And it was just lost in translation. Like even over here is a great example of like, just notice how they had like this little, I don't know, cloth portion. And then in Remastered, it's completely gone. They just completely destroyed all of that detail. I'm assuming that was intentional, but it seems weird to me that like it was just absolutely gone. And then here's another example of another portion where you can see the rainbow effect down here. And then in Remastered, they just almost, well, I guess you can see just a hint of it, but mostly it's been wiped out. And it seemed like they just made it, like they cranked up the tint setting, and they just made it like way more tinty. Is that a word? And yeah, it's just, so I went with Prepare to Die on that one. Let's see, let's scroll down. Yeah, that's where I was showing off the steel armor. Oh yeah, I forgot to show this off in the video, or in the main portion of the video. So the legs here is the remastered texture. This is before I had redone the rest of it. And you'll notice it's like really dark. Like they did some weird shit to the leggings, and just the chainmail set in general. And then the top portion is, I've put the Prepare to Die textures back and upscaled them. And so this is now with the full set of Prepare to Die textures and upscaled. Like it's just so weird to me, some of the changes that they made. And I would argue downgrades. This was pictures showing the skin upscale, which I did show off in the armor. People were trying to act up in the comments. So here's a great example. This is one of the best ones. So this is the Prepare to Die texture for Solaire. And then you have the remaster texture, where they just made it like grime and dirt or something. They turned it into that instead of like rust, where here it was very clearly rusty, and they just like barfed all over it with this just weird grime, and then they like cranked up the contrast on part of it. Just absolutely bizarre to me. So this was a good example. This was the Prepare to Die texture for Solaire's chest piece, and then this was remastered, which if we flip back and forth, you can tell there's not really much of a difference. If anything, this is where I picked the remastered texture because it had the same color profile and the same detail level. If anything, remastered was just very slightly more detailed, but I preferred the very slightly brighter sun. It's just a tad, it's very subtle, but you can see it being just a little bit brighter. And so that's a great example of like where I'm being very specific with what I pick and what I don't pick, because I always want to pick the one that's the most authentic. So it usually is Prepare to Die, but there are cases where Remastered had a better one. It's pretty rare, but So here was the like arm piece, I think, and you can see the rust. And then here you can see what Remastered did with it, where it became like it got eaten by maggots or something. I don't know. I'm not sure what. It's really weird. It's like it got corroded. And so I obviously picked the Prepare to Die texture because I was like, what the hell? Oh, so here's the arm piece. This is another part where this is the Prepare to Die. And then a Remastered, they like really darkened this portion. And then they fucked up the this top portion where they undid some of the like weathering and they made it like that weird grime shit. But mostly the surface detail that was up here has now become this like really awful grainy looking shit. Like it's just shit, and I don't get it. Yeah, okay, so those are all the comparisons I was doing. So I just thought that'd be fun to quickly kind of recap through that. But yeah, so that's a quick look. Still working on the mod, loving it, living my best life. I appreciate all the love and support, and definitely join the Discord. Follow me on Twitter. If you want to interact with me directly, I find that to be the better route than YouTube comments, to be honest. I'm not very good with those, and I tend to forget, and so I do apologize if I don't respond to your comment or heart it. I'm just really bad at that, and I tend to get siloed into whatever I'm doing, and Twitter, I think, is probably my favorite avenue, because I prune my feed pretty like strongly, so I don't get a bunch of the bullshit, but I still get some of it, unfortunately, after Elon took over. But yeah, I follow a bunch of Souls people on there, and it's really cool. We have a great time, so definitely follow me on there. I'm on Blue Sky as well. But yeah, I also have a Patreon. It's pretty cool. It's where all the cool people hang out, get exclusive stuff. It's nice stuff. That was a good sell. That was a hard sell. And yeah, anyway, thank you for watching, and I will see you on the next video.